Here are a couple of tips to make your bind off on Magic Loop go smoothly and look great. So I've already taught you how to bind off in your video knitting dictionary that you downloaded for free at knitfreedom.com. So I'm just going to use that technique, only we're doing Magic Loop here, which you can also learn at knitfreedom.com. We knit the first 2 stitches and pass the first stitch over the second stitch. That didn't work at all. There we go. Alright, so on Magic Loop, you start binding off just like normal, like that. I'm just going to bind off with you. Knitting 1 stitch and then using the tip of your needle to pass the older stitch over the newer stitch. I'm using Addy lace needles, size 10.5, by the way, 47 inches long, in case you're wondering what these are, and bulky yarn to do this demo. Alright, so we're going to get all the way to the last stitch on the first half of this round, of this bind off round. It's going to look like this. Okay, we've got 1 stitch left here. Just pretty much following your Magic Loop technique as normal, we're going to drop the left hand needle, but we don't really need to pull the right hand needle out because we actually need that stitch on there. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do, is just pull this cable back here. Let's wait for the camera to do its thing. There we go. Until you get back to ready position and push your needle tip into your stitches, and then just do this. Use that same needle, your right hand needle. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. To continue binding off. So see, I'm turning this corner like that. I'm not like trying to do that or anything. That wouldn't make any sense, right? So keep that stitch, single stitch on your right hand needle and just go around the corner like this. Let's keep on binding off. Like that. Now, a lot of you have asked, well, what do I do when I get to the very end? I want it to come out nice and even. So I'm going to show you what I do to make the rounds come out even, so there's not like a 1 stitch higher than the other one at the very end. I'll show you what I do. All right, let's just get to the end here. Alright. So here's my last stitch, and here is where I started to bind off, and you can see there is a gap. This is what I like to do. This is a really fast way. You can always cut your yarn and use your tapestry needle to sort of weave it together, but I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But this is what I like to do. Go under your bind off, just like this. Insert that right hand needle. I'll just drop the left one. Insert the right hand needle under the top of that, under that bind off. And we're going to create a new stitch there. We're just going to knit it like this, just like picking up and knitting. Like that. Let me grab my... So the other great thing about Magic Loop, right, you never lose the other needle because they're always connected. So now I've got 1 more stitch. I can pass the last one over the one I just knitted. Helps if you tension the yarn, right? Okay. I'm going to tension that yarn so that my new stitch isn't going to go anywhere. And pass that over. Now I've got knitting that is completely joined up, and when I cut the yarn and pass it through that last stitch, it looks a lot more even. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty good? There's that last stitch right there, but you can sort of tack it down when you weave your ends in, but from the side it looks pretty even. So here's the cast on edge right there. We've got a similar sort of problem, right? We obviously started here and then went around here. So when you're weaving your tail in, just give this big thick bulky yarn a twist. Grab your tapestry needle and use your tapestry needle to sew the edges together. Like I like to do the same thing. I like to go under at least like 2 bumps somewhere, or maybe let's see what it looks like when we go right in here. So I reach way over, and that may or may not look, let's see, that looks pretty good. We can do it a couple of times. We can come right back in here like this. Oops, sorry. Like that. Just trying to sort of imitate the way that the yarn already is. Right here on the edge. So I'm going to come through here and maybe through here. And then go back around. Like that. Oh, that's looking good. And maybe, oh, I stabbed the yarn a little bit. There we go. And maybe go back up through here one more time. Like that. Just so you can see, I'm like really making this up as I go. It's not perfect, like that's not perfect right there, but it kind of looks similar to this cast on edge, right? And you can see that, okay, well it's not perfect, but you can just use your tapestry needle to work the yarn in around the edges. This is from the slip knot. Let's see, I really want you to be able to see this well. This is from the slip knot, that bump right there. Okay, so next time I wouldn't come quite so far over here. I would come maybe up here, but that edge looks pretty good, right? Can you see that? There we go. So just use your tapestry. At least it's a lot more even and it's connected like it wasn't before. And when you block that, it's gonna look beautiful. Just like that. All right, happy weaving and binding off.